Hi friends, today I'd like to make quite a fancy card using some busy pattern papers together with the intricate dies. I'm also going to try some experimental techniques, so I hope you will enjoy watching. Let's get started. The papers I'll be using are from Ocean Blue Pattern Paper Pad by Graphic 45. I have already published a few projects using those papers, so I think you already know that I'm completely blown away by this collection. I have created a card base out of milk cardstock that is 7 1/4 by 5 1/4 inches. I have also used the dies from Card Builder die set by Paper Discovery to create one plain frame out of patterned paper and two intricate frames out of milk cardstock as well as out of gold mirror cardstock. I have made two just to see which one is going to look better on my project. By the way, the frame measures exactly 5 by 7 inches on the outside. Also, the plain patterned paper frame works as a background for the intricate one. I'll be using this blue paper from the pad as a background for my card, and here I'm just playing around trying to decide which combination looks better. Maybe I don't need the intricate die cut at all and will just go with the patterned paper frame. I'll decide later. I thought I would add even more interest to the background, so I'll experiment with the hot foiling. I'm going to use the die from Room Divider die set. It's an intricate panel die, and I'm going to foil with it. I'm just making sure that the edges of the die are parallel to the edges of the paper, and then I'm going to use some gold foil and send it through the machine. As always, when you are trying to foil with a regular die that is not meant for hot foiling, you will only get a very thin lines, just like golden threads. It's okay for this project because I just need some subtle texture on the background. I got some overfoiling in a couple of spots, so I'm just going to use a sand eraser and get rid of that extra foil. Then I'm going to use a blue marker to color the spaces between the lines, and this way I can make this trellis stand out a little bit more. I'm using a distress marker. It's water-based and it's quite transparent, so you will still be able to see the pattern on the paper on that colored areas. Next, I took the same die that I used for foiling and I've die cut two decorated trellis strips out of cream cardstock. By the way, the tools and supplies that I'm using are listed down below in the description box as well as on my blog. Then I'm going to apply some liquid glue at the wrong side of the trellis, and I'm leaving one side without the adhesive. It is that edge that is facing the center of the card. Then I'm sticking this panel down onto the patterned paper background, and I'm making sure I'm lining up the die cut trellis with the one that is foiled. It should be one continuous pattern. Then with the scissors I'm trimming off all the cardstock that is hanging off the patterned paper edge. After that, I'm also going to trim the inside edge, but this time I'm not going to form a straight line. Instead, I'm trimming it so that this edge is similar to the torn fisherman's nets. And this way the foiled trellis is kind of gradually blending into the dimensional die cut one. If some of the paper ends are sticking out too much, I'm just applying some glue and I'm pressing them down. I'm going to repeat this process on the other edge, and this time I'm doing it the easier way. So first I'm trimming out the uneven edge of the trellis, and then I'm going to stick it all down. This way I'm going to have the trellis pattern going all over my background, but it's going to be kind of broken in the middle where we have that ghost effect. Now it's time to try different frames to go with that background, so I'm trying the plain pattern paper one as well as the cream or gold one, and I think that the cream one is the winner. So I have applied some adhesive at the wrong side of the trellis intricate frame, and I'm sticking it down onto the background. Then I have applied some foam tape at the wrong side of that entire frame, and I'm attaching it to my trellis background. By using the foam tape and raising the frame slightly above the surface of the card, I'm creating more dimension, and also I'll have the opportunity to tuck some elements behind that frame later on. The next step is attaching the framed background onto the card base, so I'm just using the double-sided tape. As I mentioned, the card base is slightly larger than the frame, and this way I will have additional 1/8 of an inch border all around that trellis frame. And now I'm going to work on my focal image. For this one I have chosen one of the stickers that come with the pattern paper pad, and this one has the octopus image on it. I'm peeling off the sticker from the sheet, and I'm sticking it down onto a piece of plain white vellum. Then I'm tearing off the edges of the vellum, and this way I'm forming a wide strip that kind of goes diagonally on my card, and it has a sticker in the middle. Next I'm adding some foam squares behind the sticker only, not onto the vellum, and then I'm going to add this piece onto my card. I have peeled off the liner from the foam squares, and I'm attaching this strip a little bit closer to the top edge of the card. Then I'm trimming off the edges of the vellum strip with the scissors, making them a little bit shorter, and I'm tucking them right behind the frame. And now it's time to add some accents to the card. So I have die cut a few fish images out of gold mirror cardstock, and I've also die cut the corals out of gold and out of milk. All the dies I'm using today are by Paper Discovery. I'm applying some glue onto the milk-colored coral image, and I'm sticking it down on top of the golden one. I'm offsetting it a little bit, and this way I'm forming that golden outline or shading. I'm sticking down this coral image at the bottom of this frame, and this way it's going to be the bottom of the sea as well. I will also be attaching another coral image, and this time I'm trimming it down so that they would not look as a repeated pattern. As I'm attaching the die cut, I'm tucking it behind the frame at the bottom, but it's going to overlap the frame at the side, and this way it's going to enhance their organic look. Then I'm adding more smaller pieces of coral at the bottom of the sea to finish off that little underwater garden. I always like moving from larger elements to smaller ones, so now it's time to attach some fish images as well. I have attached one fish at the top of the card above the vellum strip, and another one will be peeking out of corals. The third fish is going to be attached right onto the vellum strip, but instead of just sticking it down on top, I'm going to create a slit with a craft knife, and I'm kind of repeating the shape of the sticker, and then I'm going to tuck the fish behind that strip. This way I'm creating some additional interest, and also this way the fish is not going to overlap the octopus image. As the last finishing touch, I'm going to add some different size half pearls onto the label with the octopus, onto the vellum strip, as well as above and below it. And this is what the finished card looks like. If you enjoy projects like these, please subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye bye!